hoping to see Brazil make their way through into the last 8 for a date on Friday afternoon against Croatia, who knocked out Japan, albeit on a penalty shootout. 3-1 in that shootout after it finished 1-1 after extra time. So we're underway. You're listening to BBC Radio 5 Live. You can also find us on the BBC Sounds app as well, if you haven't done so already, which no doubt will have been heavily plugged throughout this tournament so far as they look for an early ball through to try and get Richarlison away, but it was sent out to this near side for Kim Jin-soo, the left back for South Korea, all in red, playing from right to left as we look. Ball forward to Son, and then the flag is up and it's offside. The referee tonight is Clément Turpin from France, one of the more experienced officials. Jérôme Brissard is his compatriot who's in charge of the VAR, and whilst only the Khalifa International Stadium has seen more goals, 28 in 7 so far at this tournament, Stadium 974 is second on that list with 16 in 6, but these two sides do not have a track record of scoring goals in a first half. For South Korea, 11 of their last 12 goals at a World Cup have been scored after the break, and Brazil have failed to score in the first half of any of their last 5 World Cup games.
Yeah, but you're looking at that negatively, aren't you? I'm looking at it like both sides are due.
I'm thinking, curse of the commentator, we could have a 6-goal thriller, and it's 3-3 going in by the time we hand back to Mark Chapman. Although I won't hold my breath. This near side with Rafinha, they go back. Marquinhos plays a square ball out to Militao at right back to Alisson, very much established as the Brazilian number 1, despite the competition of Manchester City's Ederson. The undisputed number 1 Alisson, really. This is his 60th cap tonight, as Richarlison looking towards Neymar, and he's kept 40 clean sheets in 59 appearances, which is mightily impressive. On this near side for South Korea is Kim Jin-soo, who hits it early. Son makes the run, keeps the ball in play. The Tottenham player level with the penalty area, but Rafinha comes back to help out, and there was Militao and Casemiro, and now they can open it up for Brazil. And Neymar quickly out towards Vinicius Junior, far side to left. Ball with a diagonal one inside, laid off by Richarlison. The return ball from Neymar to Richarlison was cut out there by Kim Young-gwon.
Yes,
the heart of that South Korean
Richarlison just popped that off. It was just behind Neymar, who couldn't release the ball back to Richarlison, but Brazil have set up as we expected. That back four, Casemiro sitting in front of that back four. Neymar and Paqueta playing high up in midfield. Vinicius Junior off the left and Rafinha off the right. Richarlison, central striker.
Rafinha just passed the ball straight out of play, off almost his left shoulder, rolled down his chest, hit it first time left-footed to Paqueta, and it runs out of play for a goal kick. This is the first temporary venue in World Cup history, and as a result, naturally, there isn't any air conditioning inside this stadium for what feels like a really muggy night.
Yep, it does feel quite close. I hope you put your deodorant on.
Here at the back is Kim Min-jae. Out it goes now to this near side and volleyed forward. Son's the willing runner, starting from a central position up against Marquinhos. Militao back into position, and again the flag goes up. Second time offside for South Korea. Nearly 5 minutes played, and it's Brazil 0, South Korea 0.
Yeah, it looks like South Korea have shaped up as a 4-3-3. Son will make those movements in behind.
Vinicius Junior, left-hand side, back to Neymar. Now the ball goes square. Militao joins the attack, leaves it for Casemiro out towards Rafinha. Kim Jin-soo with the interception. South Korea will get a throw. Have you not heard? I've brought an array of different shirts with me.
I did hear that, yeah. How many shirts in total?
Failed to prepare to fail, Christopher. 5 minutes played. The Brazilian supporters inside this stadium are the ones trying to generate the noise. South Korea in possession. Kim Jin-soo back to Kim Young-gwon, and now Kim Min-jae over on that far side. Mightily impressive since he's arrived from Napoli from Fenerbahce for £16 million. He was the replacement for Koulibaly, who of course moved to Chelsea. Ball is hit long now by Kim Young-gwon, but up in the air it goes, headed back forward, off the chest by Militao. Militao, the Brazilian right back, gives it away. French referee gives a free kick, and again South Korea. Free kick to Brazil, 0-0, 6 minutes played.
It's a bit of a soft award of a free kick there. Militao trying to get away from Cho, and not too much contact, Brazil, in the free kick. But I mentioned earlier, we won't see, when you think about Brazil, you think about fullbacks who fly forward, overlaps, whipping balls in from the byline. But that's not the case with this Brazilian team. And then the onus is on the wide players, Rafinha, Vinicius Junior, in those 1v1 duels to make something happen. And Neymar, who just come and collected the ball, popped it back to Thiago Silva, for him to get into those little spaces and make something happen.
What I have noticed already, though, is that Danilo, who's playing as a left-back, is almost at the minute playing in a very central midfield area. He's completely vacated his left-back slot. As Rafinha into the penalty area with the cutback, comes to Vinicius Junior, time to place his shots and time to find the back of the net. Forget about waiting to the second half. Vinicius Junior has taken 7 minutes and the tournament favourites lead by a goal to 0.
What a finish. What a cool customer Vinicius Junior was then. They work it really well down the right-hand side to Brazil. And as the ball is crossed in, it evades everybody all the way through to beyond the far post. And I think everybody in the stadium is thinking Vinicius Junior is going to hit this first time. He doesn't. He composes himself, takes a touch and lifts the ball into the far side netting. It's a brilliant finish from this young superstar. It really is.
It was Rafinha with the trickery down the right hand side, and Vinicius Junior with only his second goal for Brazil. His first was against Chile in the final qualifier. He's just bagged his first goal at a World Cup.
It was persistent, wasn't it, from Rafinha down the right-hand side? But this is an incredible finish, as cool as you like. Just lifts the ball over the outrushing goalkeeper. There's 4 Korean defenders who are trying to block the ball, but he picks his spot perfectly. Now South Korea have work to do.
A composed finish, just waited for the ball to settle. Richarlison to Rafinha. The dance celebration wasn't too bad either from Brazil, who are leading by a goal to 0. Militao on this near side. Oh, Paquetá, lovely ball inside. The reverse look, Casemiro. Neymar. I would imagine that some 7,000 miles away, that goal will have Pelé smiling. Brazil are 1-0 up. And what was it that Paulo Bento had said ahead of the game against Portugal, that we need a miracle to win ahead of Portugal? Certainly they'll be looking now for a second miracle. Well, that's just got so much harder after conceding so early on. Because the thing is about this Brazilian side, we talk about the attack and the attack and the attack, but they very rarely, they don't tend to concede too many. You look back at their record in qualifying, kept 2 clean sheets in the group stages already, and now they have a free kick, leading by a goal to 0. Neymar rolls it, Paquetá with a little layoff, Son clears for South Korea.
I don't think you're mentioning the clean sheets. I don't think Alisson, he played the first 2 games, had a shot to save in those first 2 games.
2-0 against Serbia, 1-0 against Switzerland. Kim Min-jae heads it away. Neymar picks it up on that far side. Neymar looking to try and jink his way in. Danilo's playing as a midfielder more than anything else. He's certainly not at left back. Every time he oh, that's a penalty. That's a penalty. That was a rash challenge. And no hesitation from the French referee, Clément Turpin. Richarlison brought down. He was just too quick, just too sharp.
Yeah, looked like a clumsy challenge. So Kim Min-jae with the challenge.
They've just unfurled a banner actually away towards our left that said Pele get well soon, ahead of the over the heads of the brilliant supporters away towards our left-hand side, but our eyes are trained towards the right, because this is Rafinha with an opportunity. Oh no, he had the ball, but he's handed it to Neymar.
He scored 2 penalties in the friendly game against South Korea back in June, I think, Neymar.
His last 5 goals for Brazil have all been penalties. October the 21st against Uruguay was the last time he scored in open play. This will take him 1 goal closer to Pele. We've seen Messi, we've seen Mbappe. Another of the world's superstars waits to get in on the act as Kim Sun-kyu waits on his goal line in his lavender goalkeeping outfit. Brazil lead already by 1-0. We've been playing for 12 minutes. 6 goals in 11 appearances in his World Cup career so far. The keeper is standing so far to his right. He goes back to the centre, stuttering run up, and Neymar rolls it in. Neymar's first goal of this World Cup. He joins the scoring charts, and Brazil increase their lead. It's Brazil 2, South Korea 0.
Yep, the Korean goalkeeper, the Brazilian players away dancing in the corner, trying to put Neymar off. Neymar wasn't having any of it. Really slow, composed run up, watching the goalkeeper all the way, and then he just rolls the ball into the corner to the keeper's left-hand side. For Brazil, this is the Brazil first team, not like the team which was set up against Cameroon, but this is the perfect start and the perfect penalty from Neymar. They've got their main man back, Brazil.
He just rolled it in right-footed. The keeper stayed quite central, just dropping to his knees in frustration.
Well, he just sees him go to his right, doesn't he? He just stalls a little bit, that final step. Keeper goes to his right. We know where the ball went.
And Neymar now moves to within 1 of Pele. His 76th goal in his 123rd appearance. Pele's record was 77 goals in 92. Another goal, he would equal Pele. He would also move into the top 10 as far as the goal-scoring charts in men's international football is concerned as well. But if you think Croatia had to do it the hard way, forced to go through extra time and then a penalty shootout, Brazil look already well set for a place in the last 8, leading 2-0. Challenge on Cho, the forward, quickly back to his feet. Now with Kim Jin-soo, ball played forward by Sung Woo-young, out towards the far side. Kim Moon-hwan joins the attack. The ball is played forward ahead of him. But it's the Brazilian supporters who are waving their flags and standing up behind the goal where South Korea are attacking. It's a long way back already, as we've only been playing for a quarter of an hour, Chris Sutton.
Yeah, well, they know what they have to do now. That game plan of sitting back, being difficult to beat, difficult to play through. I mean, at 1-0, you think, well, they stick with it, understandably so, but when Neymar tucks the second one in, they've just got to go for broke, haven't they? We're barely 15 minutes into this game. It's looking like a tall order in South Korea.
I would think that Paulo Bento, the ex-Portugal boss who's in charge of South Korea, may be sitting rather uncomfortably down below, because when they lost to Brazil in June by 5-1, that was actually his heaviest defeat as the South Korean head coach, and already he finds himself 2-0 down here against Brazil. So, coming forward now is Sung Woo-young, out to this near side. Wolverhampton Wanderers, Hwang Hee-chan. Ball played forward, comes back towards Hwang, is going to shoot from distance! Not a bad effort either. Good 30 yards out from goal, and tipped over well by Alisson, flying away to his left. Brazil lead 2-0.
What a brilliant effort this is from Hwang. Drops his shoulder. Rafinha closes him down, and it's all of 30 yards. That's dipping into the top corner. Brilliant hand by Alisson.
From the corner kick on the right-hand side, Hwang In-beom lets one fly as well, but lacks the accuracy of Hwang on this occasion, and it's over the top. Couldn't quite find his range. Goal kick. BBC Radio 5 Live. Brazil lead by 2-0.
Yeah, just seeing that effort again from Hwang Hee-chan. I mean, that's a brilliant strike, and Alisson gets those feet moving, leaps, launches himself up, tips the ball over the bar.
Had that gone in, it's a goal that any Brazilian would have been proud to have scored, and certainly would have constituted one of the best goals of the tournament so far, I would imagine. Nearly 18 minutes played. Brazil lead by 2-0. Stadium 974 here on BBC Radio 5 Live, as that's the header away by Kim Jin-soo. Militao to Rafinha over the halfway line. Brazil playing from left to right. Yellow shirts, blue shorts. Paquetá back towards Marquinhos. Marquinhos forward to Casemiro. Laid out towards Danilo. The return ball for Casemiro to run forward. Out now it goes once more, and now Neymar takes over on the halfway line. And Neymar looking to go on the outside of his first challenge. Plays it to Vinicius Junior. Vinicius Junior caught a little bit late. The referee doesn't signal that he's played the advantage, as a firm challenge comes on Neymar. And then Son trying to run forward, but just quickly crowded out by the yellow shirts on the halfway line, and it's back with Alisson.
Yeah. And it's steely, those Brazilian defenders. That back four stays intact. And they pop the ball out wide. And inside to Neymar. Paquetá are the real ball players, and let them do their thing.
Now it's with Thiago Silva. Danilo again is ahead of him. Here he is, over the halfway line, inside to Casemiro. Quickly releases the ball to Neymar. Triangular passing patterns from Brazil, and now with Marquinhos. Over the halfway line, he accelerates, and waiting is Paquetá. Played 2 feet behind him, away to his left. Goes out of play for a throw. Tomorrow it's the final set of matches in the last 16. Morocco-Spain from 3 o'clock. Vicky Sparks and Pat Nevin. Portugal-Switzerland from 7 o'clock. Alistair Bruce Ball and Rob Green. And then on Wednesday, the first day, without any football whatsoever on BBC Radio 5 Live, after 17 days of consecutive action. But don't forget, in the morning, Rick Edwards out here live in Doha. 6 o'clock, 5 Live breakfast. Rick and Rachel every morning on BBC Radio 5 Live. South Korea trailed by 2-0. Ball just lifted forward by Neymar. Vinicius Junior, challenge comes in, runs away. Casemiro will try and get there first. That was well played by South Korea, and it out goes to the right-hand side, and they've got an opportunity here to run forward. With joining the attack now on this near side, the left, there's a man over in Hwang In-beom, but they've lost the ball. That was Hwang. And then at the back is Kim Young-gwon. South Korea, all in red, have it once more. And it's Kim Moon-hwan who plays the ball out towards the far side. And the right back now will run forward level with the penalty area. Quite versatile, he started all 3 games as Kim Moon-hwan. South Korea seeing a lot of the ball now, but they're trailing by 2 goals to 0. Kim Young-gwon out to this near side for Hwang. Ahead of him is Kim Jin-soo, the left back, but he's overrun it, and it's a goal kick. Brazil still lead by 2-0.
Yeah, Kim Jin-soo just down that left-hand side, trying to get the better of Militao, but he's comfortable out in that right-back position, but preferred position, centre-half, of course, but there's a good job there for Brazil. The issue that South Korea have to throw bodies forward, try and get back into this game, but you just feel they are going to be so vulnerable to Brazil when they do win the ball back.
Behind that goal of Alisson, it's resembling a Brazilian mosh pit, with the Brazilian supporters all jumping up and down. I hope that they've got their deodorant on, Chris. 22 minutes played. Here is Casemiro, able to turn, diagonal ball, Paquetá runs through his legs, runs through to Rafinha, on this near side the right, over the halfway line. South Korea have got 7 red shirts behind the ball. Paquetá now to the right back, Militao. He doesn't venture forward. Danilo's inverted from his left back role, but Militao essentially stays quite square to the centre backs.
We don't really see Danilo get on beyond Vinicius Junior. Try and get little overloads in the centre of the park. Casemiro, as we've seen over the years, just plonks himself in front of that back 4, breaking the play up, getting the screens on.
Cho lays it off to Hwang. Cho will tussle with the ball, the back heel didn't quite come off. Militao there, and then just lifted up and teed it away by himself by Casemiro. Played back forward then by Sun Woo-young. And then on the halfway line, left-footed Kim Young-gwon lifts it, and that was an acrobatic fall from Paquetá, but he gets a free kick for Brazil. We're midway through the first half on BBC Radio 5 Live, BBC Highlights tonight, BBC One. You'll be able to see the goals yourself of this game, and 10:40 on BBC One tonight.
Your earlier stat, about the lack of goals. Got a bit of egg on your face there, haven't you?
Well, you must be used to that with your predictions that never seem to come right.
That's not strictly true, is it?
But I did post on social media that there wouldn't be many goals. Well, they have a history of not scoring in the first half, and then I said, cue deluge of goals in the first half. As a raking ball from Militao to Vinicius Junior, who slips but still keeps the ball in play down by the corner flag on that left-hand side. Pulls it back now, and the cross curled in, punched away by Kim Sung-kyu, and then collected by Militao out to Rafinha. Waits on this right-hand side. They've doubled up on Rafinha. He'll dart in between the 2 South Korean players, but then it's played away up towards Son, and he is fouled, and it will be a free kick.
Yeah, Rafinha, very direct he is. He gets the ball, likes to come inside on that left foot. Anthony, of course, getting his opportunity against Cameroon. He's a box of tricks, but playing second fiddle to Rafinha.
This is Lee Jae-sung, back now with the midfielder Hwang Um-bom. Near side is Hwang, playing on this left-hand side. Forward ahead of him is Kim Jin-soo. Kim Jin-soo will win a corner kick as he was closed down by Militao. So a corner kick to South Korea, who trail 2-0.
Yeah, had the opportunity there though, Kim Jin-soo, to whip an early cross in. Decided to try and take Militao on. He's not got the better of him so far this evening. They got a goal from a corner, didn't they, against Portugal? Kim Young-gwon.
Yeah, in the 2-1 victory in dramatic fashion that it was. There's a corner kick that Son will take. Son in towards the near post, headed out by Richarlison for Brazil. In fact, the nature of that goal for South Korea is a long-range effort from Hwang is scooped up by Allison. They actually qualified on goals scored with the nature of that 2-1 victory, the first team to do so since Paraguay, when in fact South Korea were one of the co-hosts back 20 years ago. 25 minutes played, Brazil lead 2-0, forward ball, a couple of bounces through towards the goalkeeper Kim Sung-kyu. South Korea looking for a way back into the game. 2 goals adrift. Far side the right, midway through the Brazil half. Played now back to Kim Min-jae, gave away the penalty. This is Kim Young-gwon, brings it forward over the halfway line. Paquetá approaches him, ball given away then by Kim Jin-soo, and all of a sudden now they look vulnerable. And this is Neymar, Vinicius Junior streaking away to his left. Neymar will go it alone. Neymar on a diagonal trajectory, running into the inside right channel of the penalty area. It was taken off his toes, and he'll win a corner kick for Brazil. And they've taken it quickly, taken it short on the right-hand side. Back towards Neymar. Goes central now to find Casemiro. Back now to Thiago Silva. Militao. Paquetá. Paquetá once more. Danilo. Marquinhos has stayed forward at the moment. Ball given away by Vinicius Junior, but there isn't really the outlet to try and vacate the gap that has been left by Danilo. And now it's with Hwang In-bom, who will pass the ball forward towards that far side the right, and they've got Lee Jae-sung going ahead of them, but that was a loose ball by Hwang In-bom, and he's given it away straight towards Rafinha. Simply their ball retention has to be better. That's going to be an uncontested drop ball. No, it isn't. The referee got in the way, but Neymar was able still to keep the ball, turn, and now find Vinicius Junior, who's attacking left-hand side, and will win a corner off the legs of Kim Moon-hwan.
Yeah, clever from Neymar, the way he evaded the referee. He thought about nutmegging him and then turned away from Cho, pops the ball out left. He just seems really comfortable at this moment in time for Brazil. 2-0 up, strutting their stuff.
Corner kick, far side the left. That's the familiar voice of Chris Sutton on BBC Radio 5 Live. Neymar to take the corner kick, far side the left. South Korea have every red shirt back in and around their own penalty area. In it comes now, and it's headed away by Kim Min-jae. Comes out then towards Rafinha. Plays it back out to Vinicius Junior. Scoops over the cross. Headed away once more by the Napoli defender. And now Brazil attack on this near side the right with Paquetá, down by the corner flag. Paquetá, the West Ham player, rolls it back. Casemiro. He's got time to deliver the ball forward, floated into the penalty area. Leaping header away by Kim Young-gwon. 3 headers there from Richarlison. Manages to get it to Marquinhos. Oh, what a goal this could be! It's sensational! That is a sensational third goal! And it was finished off by Richarlison as Brazil lead by 3-0. The interchange was so slick, and the finish into the left corner was just brilliant. But the build-up play, you're purring after watching that. Brazil 3, South Korea 0.
Well, this is Brazil at their very, very best. What a brilliant goal from Richarlison, a hat-trick of headers, wasn't it? Won the tussle, popped it off, and then quick combination play. This is what I think we expected to see earlier on in the competition, but their tails are up. And Richarlison, what on earth is that? Don't know, over with Chite. He's too old to move like that, isn't he?
Well, at 61 years of age, I wouldn't necessarily say it was dad dancing, but Richarlison came across and actually performed a little bit of a dance routine with the substitutes, and there was even a bit of a wag of the shoulders there from Chite, the coach. But it was Marquinhos, and the ball that was played forward towards Richarlison. But I mean, as you say, a hat-trick of headers. He was like a performing seal.
A performing seal. Richarlison, well, He was a difference maker in their first game against Serbia with the goal of the tournament. Making his mark again this evening. This is going to get really ugly for South Korea.
Ugly for South Korea, but for a football purist it's beautiful. And Brazil are looking to cut loose. Here is Rafinha. Rafinha shoots, left-footed, couldn't keep it down from 25 yards out, fractionally left of centre. That is a goal that you will enjoy watching time and time again.
Yes, Richarlison. Yeah. I mean, he's persistent initially, wins the headers, plays it round the corner to Marquinhos, who pops the ball square. I think it was Casemiro who then made the pass. Richarlison carries on his run, and then as composed as you like. The pass was perfect in between two South Korean defenders.
I've got a feeling it was Thiago Silva.
Was it?
I've got a feeling
whoever it was quite a good pass, wasn't it? More than quite a good pass. Waited perfectly and then takes his touch, and it's as easy as you like. His first touch perfect.
It's easy to pick out the Brazilian supporters around Stadium 974 now, because to the beat of the drum, they away from the bulk of yellow behind the goal where Alisson stands all in green. But in the bottom tier and the top tier of this two-tiered bowl-like stadium, pockets of Brazilian supporters are just jumping up and down. Hwang attacks left-hand side, good save by Alisson. Tight angle, sprawling save at his near post. That's two saves that Alisson has made now, one from close range and the other from long range, and both from Hwang.
Yeah, his timing there, we've seen it so many times at Liverpool. The right time to come out and narrow an angle, and he does that to perfection. Brilliant play from Hwang to drift past Mateo on that byline. He drives in, he's trying to feed the ball across, but Alisson, his big frame, comes sprawling out and makes the save. It's impossible now, though, for Korea, isn't it? I mean, it really is. Do they press high? Then the Brazilians play round them. And once they get through the press, they're onto the back four.
The first game, as you may have heard on BBC Radio 5 Live, went to extra time and penalties. There will be no such drama in this second game in the last 16.
Or will there be a miracle?
No.
I was in the cooking pot in Kazan with Ali Bruce Ball 2018 when South Korea beat Germany. Didn't go through, but they beat the Germans. Nobody expected that.
I've got to say, I feel like I'm in a cooking pot of my own here tonight. 12 minutes to go to half-time. Brazil lead, certainly turning up the heat on South Korea, leading by 3-0 with 12 minutes to go to the break. There's Marquinhos to Casemiro, back to Marquinhos, out it goes to Thiago Silva, almost playing as a left-back, forward to Neymar, takes it swiftly on the turn, forward now to Vinicius Junior, running in field, Vinicius Junior to Paquetá with his back to goal, plays it out to Rafinha, inside right channel in the penalty area, looking for a sight of goal, onto his left foot, prods it back, Paquetá tees up Casemiro, who shoots right-footed, and it's just pulled out wide for a goal kick. Brazil lead by 3-0.
Yeah, they're playing some really good stuff. Thought the ball could have gone quicker out to the right-hand side from Paquetá to Rafinha. It didn't. He delayed his shot, pops it back to Casemiro, who scored a stunning goal against Switzerland, half volley. Didn't hit the target then. Be interesting. Chite, Neymar coming back from that ankle injury. Is he thinking half-time, 3-0 up? Probably already through. That would have been cotton wool.
Well, it was said to me earlier today that you used to play cards with Didier Deschamps, the French coach, during your time together at Chelsea.
He used to play cards with me.
Would you stick or twist here today if you were South Korea? Here is Hwang, challenged by Rafinha. Kim Jin-soo.
I'd take him off. I would. He is. I mean, it'd be interesting. Tim Vickery, ask him. You know, he's their key man. They have an array of stars. He's their talisman, the one everybody looks up to in the team. The difference maker, made the difference in the first game when it was really quite tight, drop of the shoulder on the edge of the box, let the ball run across his body, popped it out wide, cross comes in, Richarlison puts them ahead.
Did you send Didier a text today to wish him congratulations for reaching the last 8?
No, I'll do that tomorrow, do that in the morning.
Under 10 minutes to go to half-time, and Brazil lead 3-0 against South Korea. Qatar, lovely forward, and it's Richarlison now over the halfway line. 2 to his left, one of them is Neymar, the other is Vinicius Junior, who now enters the penalty area on the left-hand side. Vinicius Junior lifts the ball forward, and it's finished off by Qatar, and Brazil are running away with this. The break was electrifying, and Qatar with the 4th goal, getting in on the act. Brazil 4, South Korea 0. South Korea simply have no answer.
Oh, it's game over. It's not a contest. The Brazil players in a huddle, dancing up and down. Devastating. This is Brazil saying to the rest of the teams in the tournament, you've noticed us now. We're here. We're the favourites, and this is why. Neymar pops the ball out to the left-hand side. Vinicius Junior scoops the ball over a couple of Korean defenders, and Qatar, right-footed cushion volley back across the goalkeeper. Really composed. It's all about the connection, and just punches the ball into the far corner. And Chite celebrates once again. He's made up. Brazil are made up. Korea are finished.
West Ham's record signing with his 8th goal for his country, his first in a World Cup, key figure in qualifying with 14 appearances, and we could be on course for a record Brazil win here. The way that they're going, they're cutting South Korea open at will. Their World Cup record win was against Sweden in 1950 when they won by 7 goals to 1. You'd still have to go some for South Korea to suffer a record defeat at a World Cup, which was 9-0 also in the 50s against Hungary. But with 7 minutes to go to half-time, Brazil lead 4-0. Son, the return ball breaks away from him. Kim Moon-hwan, back it goes to the right back. Forward ball for a beleaguered South Korea, trailing 4-0. But Brazil really are turning on the style.
In fact, they may be wishing they didn't get through. This is utterly humiliating for them, isn't it? This is Brazil at their very best. South Korea getting a real lesson.
But what do you do? I mean, they're trying to go forward, they're still trying to score a goal. Here is Son, might shoot from distance. No, instead he looks towards Lee. Ball played now to Kim Jin-soo. And on this near side, it's Wang Him-bom. He's going to have a dig from distance. No, it's not. It's up towards Hwang. Takes on into the penalty area. Goes down the French referee after running into the back of Marquinhos. It is Clement Turpin who just tells the South Korea player, Hwang, get back to his feet. In fact, he ran into the back of Militao.
He's better than that.
I knew that was coming.
He's better than that, Hwang is. He's actually looked quite sharp this evening, hasn't he?
Yeah, he's had their best 2 efforts.
And then pushes the ball past Militao and pushes it too far. Knows he's not going to get it, so runs into Militao.
Swept away by Alisson. Richarlison beaten in the air by Kim Young-gwon. Out towards the far side. All the tricks are coming out now. That was just a lazy little flick and then a delightful little cushion touch there by Vinicius Junior. Neymar lets it run through. Richarlison is challenged.
Well, the issue is, the Brazilian players, they're playing with that swagger now, aren't they? I mean, that was brilliant skill from Vinicius Junior, but often when players feel humiliated, the next one, they get booted up in the area.
The style, the flair, the goals, the panache, you name it, Brazil are delivering it. 5 minutes to go to half-time on BBC Radio 5 Live. I remember being in Belo Horizonte for what was a really dark day in Brazilian football when they were humiliated in 2014, trounced by Germany. Record defeat. Something that some of these players, Thiago Silva was suspended that day, but part of the squad looking to try and put right. It's 20 years since they've last lifted the World Cup. Record time winners, of course, 5 occasions, and the favourites for this year's edition here in Qatar, and certainly illustrating why on the evidence of the 41 minutes that we've witnessed so far.
Favourites for you?
On what I've seen so far, yes.
Not the holders, France, no?
I think
not impressed with England?
England, I said to you yesterday, I said to you even before England played Senegal, that I was optimistic about England, and that optimism remains. Here is Rafinha. As Son is the player who has gone down, so the referee will stop play.
So taking a blow to the head there, just taking his mask off.
Got to, of course, be careful with after that fractured eye socket. Hence the reason why he's sporting the black mask, the Tottenham player.
Well, there was major concern he wasn't going to make the South Korean squad because of that injury.
South Korea's most experienced and most important player, 30 years of age, but not able to find a goal so far in this competition for South Korea, who are trailing by 4 goals to nil as we approach half-time on BBC Radio 5 Live. Through the BBC Sounds app, if you've missed any of the goals, 7 minutes Vinicius Junior, 13 minutes for Neymar, Richarlison just before the half hour on 29, Luis Paquetá 36. I think there might have been a ho-ho-ho from Richarlison's goal from Chris Sutton just before the half hour. If you want to hear the jolly Chris Sutton on BBC Sounds, you can do that. You might even be able to. We're approaching Christmas time, it is allowed. 2 minutes to go to half time, but it does have that rewind facility as 4-0 for Brazil. A South Korea attack on the right hand side, dug out by Kim Moon-hwan into the penalty area, headed out by Militao, picked up by Richarlison to Rafinha midway through his own half, and he decides to run forward. There's a little step over, he's gone down holding his face as the challenge coming in from Sung Woo-young, and that will result in a yellow card, and even, not that it's going to happen, but it's his second yellow of the tournament. So Sung Woo-young, the midfielder, is booked. He would miss the next match. Not that they're going to be going through. They'd have to pull off a dramatic 4-0 comeback, similar to what Newcastle did against Arsenal under Alan Pardew back in the day.
What's the biggest World Cup comeback? I mean, this is what you're paid to do, isn't it?
It is, and I will endeavour to give you that answer if you want.
Well, I'd like it now.
Well, there are many stats and facts and figures that I've actually got.
It's nearly half time, I suppose.
It is, yeah. I'm going to phone a friend, if I've got a friend to phone. I was just looking to my left to see who was looking over, but the fact that Mark Chapman didn't even look to his right would suggest that maybe I can't even rely on his help. Have I got anybody else? Ball played forward for South Korea, no challenge, no foul on Cho, and it runs through towards Alisson.
So we talk about we'll talk about at half-time, I'm sure, the brilliance of some of the Brazilian goals. But defensively, they are solid, aren't they? More than solid, streetwise. Here we go again, though.
Here is Richarlison. Richarlison plays the square ball to Paquetá, now towards Rafinha, edge of the area, back towards Paquetá! Paquetá hits it with his left foot and it's saved by the keeper and cleared away by South Korea.
Well, he should have hit it with his right foot and gone for power. It's a good save in the end from Kim Song-kyu. The ball slipped in the right-hand side of the box. He let it run across his body and it was more or less a toe poke. The goalkeeper got down to his right-hand side and saved.
Paquetá cleared by Cho up towards Son. And then Thiago Silva's ball runs away from him. If, of course, that as we're into stoppage time and additional time of 5 minutes, if, of course, that South Korea were to come back to draw 4-4, it would actually equal the highest scoring draw in World Cup history, which has actually been achieved twice, England-Belgium in 54 and the Soviet Union against Colombia in 62. However, Brazil are looking for a 5th goal, and they almost got it as well. Cross from Vinicius Junior, and entering the penalty area from Vinicius Junior's cross was Rafinha with an outstretched right leg inside the 6-yard area, couldn't convert it, runs out of play, 4-0 Brazil.
Why didn't he head it, Rafinha? Easiest of opportunities. Vinicius Junior likes to come in on that right foot, doesn't he? Drives the outside, crosses the ball, brilliant cross across the 6-yard line. 2 feet off the floor, Rafinha goes with his right foot, misses it completely.
Do I get a bonus point for that stat about the highest scoring draw?
Good stat.
Yeah, well recovered. 4-0. Marquinhos. The beauty of as well, this is where the Croatian players went the whole hog, extra time and penalties in seeing off Japan earlier on today, as Rafinha comes inside, now towards Neymar, into the penalty area, looking for the fancy little trick to try and drag it around Kim Min-jae, cleared away by South Korea. Is that Chite now is going to have the luxury, surely, if not making changes at the start of the second half, a raft of changes to rest his players going into the quarter-final 3 o'clock on Friday afternoon.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Chite rested his players, or many of his players, in the defeat against Cameroon, didn't he? He has that option again. As I say, if I was him, I'd be wrapping Neymar in cotton wool. He'll want him to have a few minutes of game time.
This is Rafinha. Ball play forward, Paquetá chips it now towards Richarlison. Look at the space for Richarlison. Right-hand side, racing into the penalty area, and Richarlison, saved by the keeper's legs, comes out to Neymar on the follow-up. Couldn't keep it down, ballooned away from him, out for a goal kick, so close to a 5th in stoppage time.
Well, this should be 8. Brazil have been wasteful. The Korea trying to get themselves back into the game. I mean, is it the definition of madness? They're just throwing bodies forward, leaving big gaps. Richarlison drove from inside his own half, straight through on goal. Should have slotted it in the far corner. Good save from the keeper again, though.
South Korea are attacking. On the overlap on the right-hand side is Kim Moon-hwan. It'll be kept alive on this near side by Hwang on the left of the penalty area. Plays it back. Kim Jin-soo with the cross towards the far post. Good header out by Danilo. Kim Moon-hwan collects it for South Korea, far side. Still, to their credit, they're having a go, despite trailing by 4-0. Here is Son, quickly challenged. But as a result of that, and they are pushing the fullbacks forward, they leave themselves open to the counter-attack. Now, as the Times reported in 2019, I think it had my age as 44, so clearly too young to remember 1966, unlike a certain John Murray. But the largest winning comeback in a World Cup game, Eusebio inspired Portugal from 3-0 down against North Korea in their quarter-final game at Goodison Park to win 5-3. So, for South Korea to turn it around, not that you're going to give them much hope, I'm sure, Chris, that is the task that awaits them.
It was Eusebio top scorer of that World Cup as well.
Eusebio scored 9 goals in 66. I think you'll find. I feel like on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. Are you Chris Tarrant or Chris Sutton? Anyway, this is Mark Chapman. The half-time whistle has sounded, and I'm sure that Chris is going to be asked lots of questions because Brazil have been stupendous. 4-0. They've made a couple of changes. Hong Chul has replaced Sung Woo-young in the midfield, and we've lost a Kim from the defence. Kim Jin-soo has been replaced by Son Jun-hoo at left back. So they are the changes that have been made. So trailing 4-0. This is how they line up now. Kim Sung-kyu, Kim Moon-hwan, Kim Young-gwon, Kim Min-jae, Son Jun-ho, Hwang Hee-chan, Hong Chul, Hwang In-bom, Son Heung-min, Cho Gu-sung and Lee Jae-sung. For Brazil, who haven't made any alterations, leading by 4-0. They have Alisson in goal, Militao at right back, Marquinhos, Thiago Silva and Danilo, Casemiro, Neymar, Paquetá, Rafinha, Richarlison and Vinicius Junior. And the 4 goals were scored by Vinicius Junior, Neymar, Richarlison and Paquetá. Just brilliant, that first half. It's one of the, as they give the ball away, South Korea, and Rafinha, he has Richarlison with him, he goes for goals, a deflected effort, and it's saved by Kim Sung-kyu, the goalkeeper. It's one of those halves that you can listen back to or watch again, regardless whether you want to do one or the other.
Yes, it is, and Brazil really arriving and making a statement in that first half. I think that, as I said in the first half, that people were looking at that defeat against Cameroon, watching the game, and Cameroon hit them with a sucker punch late on, but Brazil had been pretty dominant in that game, made a lot of changes. Cheetah had the right to change so many players, still finished top of the group, so it was job done in that respect. But now got the first team back, and they've gone up a couple of levels.
Son gets onto the end of a loose ball, and Son puts it wide from the inside left channel of the penalty area. Still looking for his first goal at this tournament. In fact, Alisson must have got something on that.
It's a brilliant save. So even when you do breach the Brazilian back line, you've got Alisson to beat. It's that timing of his dive, spreads himself. Son's trying to find the far corner.
Son with a corner kick, right hand side. 2 Brazil players both going for the same ball. Danilo and Richarlison loops off both of their heads and behind for another corner kick to South Korea, who trail by 4-0. Son with the corner, it's an outswinger. Richarlison gets there. Ball then played back towards Son, and it's too far ahead of him, and out of play goes for a goal kick. I mean, I remember watching the 82 World Cup, and I think of Eder, Zico, Falcao, Socrates, and that's still a team that I reflect on now. If you've got a young boy or young girl, and 20 to 11 on BBC One is too late for them to stay up, tape it for them tonight. BBC One the highlights, because some of the football tonight that Brazil have played are going to be, certainly I think that Richarlison goal could be a goal that's replayed down the years as far as great World Cup moments go.
Yeah, what a World Cup he has had so far. That brilliant overhead kick in the first game, but Vinicius Junior, his finish. I think this is what we expected earlier on in the tournament. The Brazilian swagger, the tricks and flicks.
Here is Rafinha on the far side.
Yeah, just on your tape it stuff. Do people still have VHSs?
Hello, yeah. 4 minutes into the second half. Tape it, record it, it's the same thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Listen, I'm not into you know. I say I'll tape it, I'll still tape it. Out he goes to the far side, Rafinha. Rafinha to the byline, shimmering his way towards the right side of the penalty area. Paquetá goes inside, Casemiro goes square. Now it's with Vinicius Junior. If it wasn't a VHS, you'd wear it out time and time again watching some of the goals in the first half. South Korea try and beat the Brazilian press. They're forced to go back. Kim Young-won. I felt last night I was being bullied at times. I can sense another claim going into to HR. The presenters are very harsh. Yeah. They're critical.
Yeah,
what happened to the support from the BBC?
There's a mob of three to my left-hand side, isn't there?
Searching ball out towards Hwang. Comes in field. The reverse ball played out towards Kim Moon-hwan. But Brazil now have it with Casemiro, and there's a break on. Floated ball over the top. Taken on the run with his first touch off the head by Rafinha. Right side of the penalty area. Rafinha look for the run of Neymar. Neymar's meant to be playing in midfield. He keeps joining the forward line at every opportunity. Mind you, he can, because Danilo's playing in midfield from the left-back role.
Yeah, but
they're swarming all over South Korea.
Oh, they are. South Korea, they're trying to get back in the game. They're 4-0 down. Is it naive? It's not going to happen. But they're willing. But as Casemiro let the ball run beautifully across his body past one of the South Korean midfielders and hit a long diagonal ball to Rafinha, who eventually tried to cross the ball in, but it was blocked.
Paulo Bento knew that he needed a miracle tonight for South Korea. If he had taped it, he'd be looking to erase it, as his side are 4-0 down 6 minutes into the second half.
He might be looking to learn from it. That's what, when you make a mistake, that's what you do, isn't it? You never made a mistake?
I make mistakes all the time. I've made a few tonight. Here is Hwang. As you lot, you motley crew know only too well. Danilo tidies up inside his penalty area and then clears. So we now know one half of the draw. Argentina, Netherlands, and then Croatia against Brazil. The winners of England, France will take an either Spain, Morocco or Portugal, Switzerland, as we still wait for the other side, the other half of the draw here in this Qatar World Cup to take shape. But this is certainly an ominous warning for Croatia, Netherlands and Argentina in Brazil's half, leading by 4-0. Here is Hwang In-beom in the midfield. Up it goes towards Lee Jae-sung. Out of play it goes for a goal kick to Brazil. Chris Sutton.
Yeah, he's unlucky. Lee Jae-sung makes a run beyond that Brazilian back line. And Son tries to find him with the pass, but just muscled out by Leitao.
Your favourite card game with Didier Deschamps was Trumps, was it not?
Yeah, Trumps, yeah.
Brazil have had a few tonight, haven't they?
They have top trumps.
Top trumps. Now,
there's a game.
There is a game. Talking of VHS recorders, I used to love a game of top trumps. 8 minutes into the second half. Brazil leads South Korea by 4-0. BBC Radio 5 Live, BBC Sounds. Tomorrow we've got Morocco, Spain. 3 o'clock, Vicky Sparks and Pat Nevin. Portugal, Switzerland at 7. Alistair Bruce Ball and Rob Green. Rick Edwards live in Doha at 6 o'clock in the morning for 5 Live Breakfast. Here is Thiago Silva. Played forward by Danilo. Vinicius Junior. When does Tite, the Brazilian coach, start to make changes to rest a few legs ahead of that quarter-final on Friday afternoon against Croatia?
Yeah, I think this is a really interesting one, because if anything happens to Neymar, went off injured in the Swiss game, I know he will want the minutes, and when you're 4-0 up, you can do your flicks, your tricks on the ball now. But they can't afford for Neymar to miss out if they want to go all the way.
Casemiro spreads the ball out towards Rafinha. Rafinha on the right-hand side crosses the ball, headed away well by Kim Moon-hwan. Picked up though by Thiago Silva. Now it's with Casemiro, lays it off towards Marquinhos, rolls it along the ground, out towards Rafinha, far side the right, yellow shirts, blue shorts, playing from right to left, inside towards Paquetá, the return ball to Rafinha, Rafinha twisting and turning, great save by the goalkeeper, full stretch, still Brazil have it, Vinicius Junior now threatening, his shot's deflected behind for a corner, Brazil so close to a fifth, in fact no, it's a goal kick, must have come off a Brazil touch, so close to a fifth goal.
This is brilliant though from Rafinha, comes inside from that right hand side on his left foot, just feeds a precise pass to Paquetá, who pops the ball back first time, shapes the shoot with his right foot, chops back onto his left foot and tries to slide the ball into the far corner, and that's a big hand from King Song-Hu.
Seleção tonight tweeted on their social media, let's go together for one more start. Certainly the 5 times winners have put in a 5-star display, and they are looking for that 5th goal as we enter the 55th minute of this contest here in Stadium 974, as once again that banner is being unfurled in that bulk of Brazilian support behind the goal where Brazil are attacking, and it has Pelé adorned on it, and the message is quite clear in bold green letters: Pelé, get well soon. Certainly he'd sent the message knowing, sending it to the team, saying I'll be watching from hospital, I'll be rooting for each and every one of you, and that is certainly shared, that sentiment, for everybody connected, not just of course in Brazil but also in the footballing world, that everybody's rooting for Pelé. Even Kylian Mbappe had posted something yesterday as Vinicius Junior plays the ball inside. Neymar got options to his right, bundled off the ball, and it will be a free kick. It was Son Jun-Ho with the free kick, left of centre and just over 25 yards out. Brazil 4, South Korea 0. You're listening to BBC Radio 5 Live.
Yeah, I mean, Neymar territory this. Clever little shift there to win the free kick. What do we say, 30 yards out. Level with the South Korean near post, suits a right footer, wouldn't you think? And Rafinha over the ball as well, Casemiro. He must just be dishing out advice, just rubs Neymar's nose there.
Not quite 30 yards, just a little shy of that. It's left of centre, might suit the left foot of Rafinha if he wants to try and wrap it around the wall of South Korea. Neymar, Casemiro's walked away. Neymar in discussion now with Rafinha. Clement Turpin is the French referee. Rafinha or Neymar? We're approaching the hour mark on BBC Radio 5 Live. Rafinha left-footed, takes a deflection off the wall and behind for a corner kick.
Rafinha can't quite get enough elevation on the ball. The opportunity from this corner. Neymar rousting up the crowd, the showman.
Getting a great ovation as well as he walks just down towards our left-hand side. And now he rolls it to Vinicius Junior, who works it on the inside. Danilo's with a cross, headed away on the edge of the penalty area by Kim Young-Gwon. Up towards Tottenham's Son, quickly challenged by his teammate Richarlison. Free kick goes though in favour of the South Korean on the halfway line.
We talk about how good they've been this evening on the ball, but when they give the ball away, the recovery's been excellent as well.
South Korea with Kim Young-Gwon at the back. Forward ball, Lee Jae-sung, left of the centre circle. Passes the ball to Hyung-chul. Now out to Kim Moon-hwan. His cross from the right-hand side. Arcs its way all the way across towards the left-hand side. Militao with the block. South Korea still attacking. Hong-chul looking for the return ball. Stopped by Paquetá, out towards Hong Chul. Hwang In-bom makes the run. Chul, inside once more. Always he felt it was going away from Lee Jae-sung. South Korea, though, have retained the ball. And now Son Jun-hoo, and out to that far side, where Lee Jae-sung takes over, spreads play to Kim Moon-hwan. Right corner of the penalty area, the right back goes infield. Son takes over but moves away from the penalty area. Now will come again as he tries to thread it through towards Cho Gu-sung. But Brazil are on the attack with Vinicius Junior instead, over the halfway line, plays the ball infield. Richarlison looking for the return to Vinicius Junior, tidied up by Son Jun-ho. Clearance though only as far as Richarlison, who plays the ball back. We've been playing for an hour on 5 Live. Half an hour left to continued enjoyment of watching this excellent football being played by Brazil, Chris.
Yeah, and that's where Brazil wanted to be this evening, to really work at it. The first couple of games, Serbia and Switzerland, to break down tight defences, but 4-0 up at half-time. Pressure off. They could do their thing. Pop the ball around at will.
Just to put it into perspective, that Cameroon defeat, which Tim Vickery said had been treated rather harshly back home as Neymar breaks down on the edge of the area. That defeat was Brazil's second defeat in 31 in all competitions since the start of 2020. They are a side that is not accustomed to losing. They've won 25 and drawn 4.
We know, standards are so high and expectation is so high, but it was, they did change 9 players in that game, and they dominated the game. Cameroon scoring very late on, still finished top of the group.
But also 13 clean sheets in 17 qualifiers, and they're looking for a third clean sheet in 4 at this World Cup here in Qatar. 62 minutes played, BBC Radio 5 Live. Cho Gu-sung, who's been linked with Celtic and Borussia Dortmund, unable to get onto that as the ball is played forward by Casemiro. Vinicius Junior picks it up. Neymar waits out towards his left-hand side. Vinicius Junior has made the run ahead of him. Instead he picks out Rafinha. Rafinha creates the opening, and again the goalkeeper stands tall at his near post. Kim Sung-kyu keeping out Rafinha for a second time in this second half. That 5th goal will not arrive. 4-0 Brazil.
Brilliant goalkeeping. Vinicius Junior running the ball inside his own half, pops the ball out left to Neymar, who drives on the inside on his right foot. I think maybe is thinking about a shot himself, but sees Rafinha in a better position, pops it to the right-hand side of the box. Rafinha shapes to shoot left-footed onto his right foot, and a good save at his near post. And Kim Sung-kyu.
Dani Alves is going to be coming on for Militao, much decorated right back. 56 major honours in his illustrious career, but the one that has eluded him is the World Cup. He's actually got his own videos, the World Cup dream that he posts.
DVDs or?
It's available on Betamax, I think you'll find. His appearance against Cameroon means that he actually became Brazil's oldest player to play at a World Cup. So the 39-year-old is on. Brazil are attacking. Richarlison. Free kick sounded by Clement Turpin.
I think he was captain in the last game. Will he be the oldest captain ever at a World Cup? Ian?
Yes. Listen, you can. I've got the oldest goal scorer and the oldest player at a World Cup, but I don't have the oldest captain. There's only so many facts and figures you can have at your fingertips. Dani Alves being the oldest player for Brazil was rather pertinent. Yours was not. As we approach the 64th minute on BBC Radio 5 Live. And Brazil haven't been able to add to their tally of their 4 goals that they scored in the first half. But South Korea are going to be making another change. And his first appearance at this tournament for the 25-year-old midfielder, Baek Sung-ho, who actually began at Barcelona his career when he was scouted at the age of 13. Only made a couple of appearances for the B team before he left to ply his trade at Darmstadt in Germany. But here he comes on for his first appearance and he replaces Hwang Un-bom. Feel free to pick up at any point.
Yeah, just seeing Thiago Silva go down there. That's the danger. That's what Cheetah has to think about. Don't want players getting injured.
Well, you're surely approaching that point, aren't you, in the second half, where you're thinking, well, I mean, the game was won when the third goal went in. And when was the third goal scored? That was scored just before the half hour of that great goal by Richarlison after 29
wasn't necessarily
minutes.
Won at 3-0.
Ball over the top, Rafinha running forward, flag stays down, Rafinha enters the penalty area, cuts it back, Richarlison couldn't get there, it's a late flag. Now it's up. The referee though lets play continue. South Korea bring the ball away. Well, unless you're thinking that they were able to produce a comeback of record equaling proportions of Austria in 54 or Portugal in 66, as you know only too well, I think it's fair to say that the game was over at that point. 66 minutes played. Vinicius Junior goes down. No foul, says the French referee. It's going to be a long 24 minutes, not just for the listener and myself, but also for South Korea. Chris Sutton.
It absolutely is. As the game is won. Brazil maybe have just lost their snap with the passing. Their crispness and their purpose, they know it's over. They just want to ease through this last 24 minutes or so for South Korea. It's playing for pride, isn't it?
Here is Kim Moon-hwan. Hwang with the cross, the Wolverhampton Wanderers player, 13 appearances without a goal so far this season. The pass from Dani Alves just meant that Alisson had to accelerate just a little across his own goal. It was cleared out of play for a throw. We're approaching the midway point of the second half, as Brazil will be progressing from, I say with a great deal of confidence, their last 8 matches now at the round of 16 this stage in the World Cup, since they were last eliminated by Argentina in 1990. There is the prospect of a Brazil-Argentina semi-final, as Casemiro helps it on towards Neymar, tidying up in the midfield was this man here, Son Jong-ho. Is now Hwang on the near side, goes in field to the substitute, Baek Sung-ho. Carrying it off now is Lee Jae-sung. Out it goes towards that far side, the left. First time cross comes in, 2 red shirts in the penalty area. Alisson with another good save. The block, the follow-up. Sung twice had a nibble of it. Brilliant defending by Brazil. The determination, the desire to keep the clean sheet when you're leading by 4-0, and no wonder that they're high-fiving left, right and centre, because Alisson with a save and then at least 2 excellent blocks, and still South Korea can't get a consolation.
Yes, the ball crossed in from the left-hand side, goes all the way through. I think Danilo should do better, comes off his chest and just falls to Wang Hee-chan, who hammers the ball right-footed and looks like it's heading into the corner, and all of a sudden Alisson's big right hand gets out and makes the save, and then you see that dogged, determined Brazilian defending. 4-0 up, we're not going to let one in. Bodies on the line. Before
tonight, Tottenham's Son has had the most, well, It had 9 shots on target without a goal at this World Cup. Only Musiala of Germany had recorded more. I've got a feeling that Son must be getting close to Musiala's tally of 12. Just hasn't fallen for him. It was a great block by Marquinhos. There's a Brazilian player who is down at the moment. I think it might be Casemiro.
Yep.
It is Casemiro. I'm thinking Chite now, with 20 minutes remaining, he's only made the one change by bringing on Dani Alves for Militao.
Yeah. So you're thinking
make changes.
I mean, I've been saying this for the last 25 minutes. You haven't responded until now. Now you're agreeing with the point.
You've had Bruno Guimaraes, who's made a couple of appearances off the bench. Anthony has made 2 substitute appearances before he started against Cameroon. Thinking the Manchester United player. Martinelli just 1 sub-appearance and 1 start against Cameroon. Fabinho 1 appearance, but there is activity down below. And we are going to be seeing Martinelli as one of them. And Bremer is going to be the other change, who's actually named after the former German defender Andreas Bremer, who's a central defender. So he started against Cameroon, so the 25-year-old will be coming on. Brazil lead by 4 goals to 0, and that will mean that we've got still 1 opportunity for them to make another double change for Chite, the coach, as Brazil lead 4-0. South Korea have kept plugging away to their immense credit. Real spirit from a neutral. After the delights of the first half, one would have been hoping for more goals for Brazil. They really did turn on the style. Cross delivered from the right hand side by Kim Moon Hwan, curls out of play.
And Wang Hee-chan has played off the right hand side for South Korea in this second half, as Brazil, Chite's making the changes. It'll be Thiago Silva. Wonder whether he's coming off. Let's have a look.
Danilo was the first player to come off. Now, he deputised for Alexandro at left back. Danilo, who had picked up an injury as well, he started against Serbia but missed the last 2. So again, this will be an opportunity just to rest Danilo, because if there is still a doubt over Alexandro, and Alex Telles is, of course, is out for the tournament, then Danilo, who's filled in so well tonight, will certainly need to rest his legs. And then the other player to come off was Vinicius Junior, to be replaced by Martinelli of Arsenal.
Yeah, like for like, Vinicius Junior. Martinelli had a tremendous season for Arsenal, hasn't he? I just wondered about Thiago Silva though, because he went down, I think it was more of a kick than a twist. I wonder whether he would be rested, taken off as a precaution.
17 minutes remaining of normal time.
Bremer's gone into that left-back role.
And here is Martinelli ahead of him on this left-hand side. Yellow shirts, blue shorts, playing from right to left. On a night where we've talked about VHS recorders, top trumps, you're listening to the good old wireless of BBC Radio 5 Live. But if you're up to terms with the new digital age, then BBC Sounds is the way forward. And if you haven't downloaded that app, then please do so. And you can listen to the rest of the tournament through that. You can take us wherever you go. And tomorrow, Morocco, Spain at 3, Portugal, Switzerland at 7. But this has been a very enjoyable evening. Not say that very often with you, Chris.
No, not many do. But Brazil have announced their arrival at the World Cup. They won the group, but they're finding the rhythm at the right time. It's not how you start the tournament, it's how you finish.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
As Dino's off would know only too well, the oldest captain at a World Cup, when Italy, of course, beat Brazil in 1982.
That's a question.
There's your answer.
Question. Yeah.
16
What
minutes.
about the oldest outfield captain?
You know when I said I've enjoyed being with you alongside tonight, don't push it.
I suspect he is. I can't.
16 minutes remaining. It is Kim Min-jae running forward. Now Bex Sung-ho in the midfield for South Korea. Son turns right side of the penalty area, plays it back. This is Hwang. Out of play it goes for South Korea. One thing you'd have to say about South Korea, they haven't buckled, they haven't capitulated.
No, it is a credit to them. 4-0 down on the end of an absolute hammering.
Baek Sung-ho, edge of the area, turning, prodding it goalwards, comes out. No shooting opportunity there for Son. It'll be a Brazil throw on this near side. Quarter of an hour to go.
And Alisson in his first couple of games, I don't think he had a shot to save. They have worked him this evening.
Yes.
On 2 or 3 occasions. The save he made in the first half from Wang.
He made 2 from Wang, if you remember.
Ferocious effort though from 30 yards out. Save in the byline, and the one was 3 from Wang in fact in the second half. But they're just look, they're going through the motions a little bit, aren't they now?
Yeah.
Brazil
playing within themselves, which is only natural, you think. Self-preservation. You've got a quarter-final Friday afternoon. You'll hear it on BBC Radio 5 Live and BBC Sounds at 3 o'clock. Croatia against Brazil, to be followed by Argentina against the Netherlands. You know, Saturday night, England against France, as South Korea have made a change, which I'll tell you about after we've got this free kick, looking for a consolation. Playing an all red from left to right, taken by the right back Kim Moon-hwan into the penalty area, shot fired in, great goal by Baek Sung-ho, marks his first appearance in the World Cup with a stunning consolation. Hit it so sweet. Brazil 4, South Korea 1. What a goal from Baek Sung-ho.
Yeah, this is an incredible strike. It is. We talked about Alisson making 3 really important saves for Brazil. As the ball is whipped and is headed clear, I think it's by Bremer, and Baek Sung-ho must be all of 25 yards out, left-footed, hammers a half volley. I think it does take a slight deflection off a Brazilian backside, but it flies into the corner. Alisson, even the great Alisson, couldn't keep that out.
The checking for a possible offside leading up to the goal, but the fact that Brazil have
the Brazilian player
restarted,
headed the ball out, that would have been...
the check is over.
Yeah, I mean, that wouldn't have made any sense, would it?
But we were complimenting South Korea for their spirit. They deserve that consolation. I'm not patronising them, but they deserve it.
I'm with you. And it was a strong challenge.
The change, by the way, Lee Jae-sung, who plays his football in Germany for Mainz, he has gone off the field of play, and he's been replaced by another Lee Kang-in, who is said to be somewhat of a creative talent. He can play wide, he can play as a 10, plays for Mallorca after coming through the Valencia Academy. I'll tell you what, we've been treated to some good goals tonight.
Yeah, I do think that one took a slight deflection, but very clean strike, crisp effort, technical effort. The ball sitting there, ready to be struck on the half volley. Didn't lash at it, caught it beautifully with the instep. Slight deflection, no chance for Alisson.
This doesn't happen very often, but we're going to have the third choice goalkeeper coming on for Brazil. Very, very experienced as well. Palmeiras, he plays forward. He helped Brazil get Olympic gold in 2016. He's 34 years of age, so he is going to be coming on. Weberton in the goal. Edison, you might recall, started against Cameroon, and there's also going to be another player who's going to be coming on down below.
Rodrigo, I think.
And it's Rodrigo. Just couldn't quite see the back of the number as he gets his final instructions from Chite. 4-1 to Brazil. Did ever so well on the way to claiming gold 6 years ago. 5 clean sheets as they ball is up towards Cho, beaten out by Alisson again, down into the ground. Late flag wouldn't have counted.
Yeah, haven't seen much of Cho this evening. He's been marshalled really well. Marquinhos and Thiago Silva all just clipped in behind us. It's a tight one. Makes a run in between Thiago Silva and Bremer. He's playing in that unfamiliar position at left back. Chokes his shot into the floor. Alisson made the save anyway. Here comes Alisson. He's coming off.
This is a nice touch though, because this is their last opportunity to make changes. He could have rested any number of the outfield players, but he's taking off Alisson, one of the best keepers in the world, the undisputed number 1, and it's the third choice Weberton coming on to replace him for what will be a cameo appearance for him with 9 minutes remaining, and no surprise to see Rodrigo replacing Neymar.
Is it? I mean, just imagine if South Korea score again, you've got your third choice keeper. Is that the right call, Ian?
Yeah, I think it is. He's a calm goalkeeper. 5 clean sheets he got during the Olympics.
Yeah, that's the Olympics.
Up it goes to the other end.
This is the World Cup, Ian. Come on.
You say that, but Uruguay actually believe that their 2 Olympic goals that they won a long, long time ago constitute, that's why they've got the 4 stars on their shirts. They believe that the Olympic goals are worthy of the 4 stars on the shirt. 5, of course, are on the shirts of Brazil, as the ball played back towards the goalkeeper of South Korea, and Kim Sung-kyu managed to get the ball away.
He did really well there, didn't he? Quick feet, because he was under major pressure from Rafinha. 2 quick touches, got himself out of big trouble.
So Rodrigo on for Neymar. 8 minutes remaining, and that's it now. Chite can't make any more substitutions. Brazil breezing their way into the quarter-finals of this World Cup here in Qatar. You're listening to BBC Radio 5 Live. Don't forget the World Cup Daily, a daily dosage from Doha with a debate and the analysis, looking ahead. And South Korea have also made a change, and Cho has gone off and Hwang Oh-jo has come on to replace him, and indeed here he is, the substitute for Olympiacos. He's on loan from Nottingham Forest, actually, as the 30-year-old, for what is his 4th appearance at this World Cup. Over 50 appearances for South Korea. He's come on for Cho Gu-sun. 7 minutes remain. South Korea, out it goes to this near side for Hwang, the right. Infield, the goal scorer, Baek Sung-ho. Sun Jun-ho. Little touch now maybe to come forward here on that far side for Lee Kang-in. Patiently they play the ball out. Never stop trying, South Korea. Brazil are just going to defend for these closing stages. Hwang plays the ball down line. First time cross from the right back, Kim Moon-hwan, who is ahead of him. Very advanced across the face of goal, out of play for a goal kick. But I wouldn't think there's a great deal of concern for Chite on the bench.
The second half, it's been like a bounce match really for Brazil. It's been pretty half-hearted, hasn't it? They're already thinking about Croatia, the next test, and South Korea are actually played some okay stuff, but this is Brazil second half, lacking the intensity. Did enough in the first half to put this game to bed.
Well, if we had the flair for the best part of the hour, they've resorted to a little bit more of the functional style of a team, say from Dunga down the years for Brazil, as Martinelli on this near side, the left, level with the penalty area. Do they have time for a fifth goal? As waiting is Rodrigo. Now they go back. Paquetá, Casemiro. Ball played all the way back to Bremer.
Paquetá's shown some nice touches this evening. Struggled a little bit in the West Ham jersey, hasn't he, so far? Or maybe not struggled, but hasn't produced what I think West Ham fans thought he was capable of producing.
Record signing. Could be worth just over £50 million for West Ham. 12 appearances yet to score. Give him time though, he's certainly a talent with his left foot, the attacking midfielder. Under 5 minutes remain. Brazil lead South Korea by 4-1. BBC Radio 5 Live. South Korea with Kim Min-jae to Kim Young-won, and now out towards the far side for Hong-chul. Forced to go back towards their goalkeeper Kim Sung-kyu, who plays it forward, strikes Rodrigo, he gets the ball back from Richarlison, and a good block coming in from Kim Min-jae, and out of play it goes for a Brazilian throw, and the goalkeeper getting in a tangle.
Should have made more of that, Brazil. Goalkeeper careless, kicks the ball straight into Rodrigo. Richarlison and tries to reverse it back to Rodrigo. The block comes in. They could have scored more, in fairness, with Brazil. Many more.
Talked about their record win as the header is guided back by Kim Min-jae towards his keeper. The record win was 7-1 against Sweden in 1950. They could easily have had 7 goals here tonight, such as being the style of football that we've all enjoyed. Just 3.5 minutes remaining, and a lot of empty blue seats now appear inside Stadium 974 that will be signing off. Said before that this stadium has seen the most goals behind the Khalifa International Stadium, 21 in total in its 7 games at this temporary venue. Are we to have another one before Stadium 974 signs off with its recycled shipping containers, which will be dismantled? But there are a lot of, this is the type of game that you wouldn't want to leave early, personally. You pay good money. I just want to watch Brazil, just in the hope that we get another goal. We might get another goal as South Korea are attacking on that far side, the left. Cross is delivered. Hwang looking to meet it, couldn't get there. Bremer was challenging him. Martinelli inside. That was a foul.
Did well, Bremer, actually. Cross from the left-hand side. The high ball. Hwang had the run on him. Just saw him coming, used his body, and eased him out of the way.
2 minutes of normal time remaining then on BBC Radio 5 Live. Everton, the goalkeeper, out towards the far side. Little ball laid back. Dani Alves, he releases Rafinha. Rafinha now running forward. 3 yellow shirts to aim for. Rafinha, right corner of the area, crosses the ball, looking towards Gabriel Martinelli. Headed away by the South Korean defence. Back it goes to Martinelli on this near side. Brazil playing from right to left. 90 seconds remaining.
How good has he been against him? Casemiro, such an integral part of the team, isn't he?
Ball chipped out. Rafinha comes inside. Good header away by Kim Min-jae. Paquetá, a little layoff to Casemiro with his back to goal.
Just hoovers everything up, doesn't he?
Here is Rodrigo looking to Martinelli. Martinelli enters the penalty area, goes on the outside towards the byline. Martinelli pulls it back. Dani Alves with the acrobatics and deflected behind for a corner kick. That would have put the icing on the cake if Dani Alves were to get on the score sheet here. 4-1 Brazil.
Yeah, that would have been delightful. Dani Alves, ball slid through from Rodrigo in between centre half and right back. Martinelli to the byline, just dinks the ball up beyond the far post. Alves, acrobatic right foot volley into the floor off the back of Korean defender.
In swinging corner from the far side. Bremer's last touch off him as he tried to attack 6 yards out. Out it goes for a goal kick. We're going to have 4 minutes of additional time in Stadium 974. BBC Radio 5 Live and BBC Sounds. And Brazil against Croatia will be the first of the 4 quarter-finals that will bring you from Friday afternoon at 3 o'clock. After Japan won, Croatia won, and Croatia going through 3-1 on penalties. South Korea, crossfield ball. Hwang enters the penalty area, inside right channel. Little bit off balance, puts it out of play, goal kick.
Son John-Hu again with raking crossfield ball, diagonal ball to Hwang Hee-chan, who takes decent enough first touch, just sits there, the angle slightly against him, just rushes his shot, slices it wildly over. And I do think we're all thinking, with the way the draw is, Brazil, Argentina in that semi-final, but it's been that strange World Cup, so many surprise results. You wouldn't put it past the Netherlands beating Argentina.
Ball is carried forward for South Korea from Lee Kang-in, who was upended, but no foul. Paquetá plays it out to Martinelli on this near side. He was definitely fouled. Oh no, he's not. The referee's told him to get up.
What about Croatia for Brazil? An eye on them earlier. That good tournament team, aren't they? Modric still pulling the strings there.
Well, that is going to be fascinating. Modric against Casemiro. The two players will know each other so well from their days at the Bernabeu. Son back to Kim Moon-hwan. Out to this near side for Hwang Hee-chan of Wolverhampton Wanderers, scored against Uruguay. He's come close on 2 or 3 occasions tonight to add to his tally. Still South Korea are attacking. As the ball is played back to Kim Min-jae. The Napoli defender plays it forward, nice little layoff, but cleared on the edge of the area by Paquetá. There's a pacey ball up towards the halfway line, and Richarlison now tries to get away from Kim Min-jae. On this near side, in stoppage time on BBC Radio 5 Live, Richarlison down towards the corner flag. 3 South Korea players are drawn towards him, and in the end it was the goal scorer, Baek Sung-ho, who put it out of play for a throw.
Yeah, and you said it earlier, you don't want to be patronising, but they have really done themselves proud.
Yeah, they have.
In the way, 4-0 down, they could have let their heads really drop, throw the towel in, get beat 6, 7, 8. They've worked exceptionally hard in the second half. Got the goal, albeit consolation. Play to the end.
They've done exactly that. Shot from distance from Dani Alves, dragged it well wide. Bearing in mind at 4-0 down, Paulo Bento must have been thinking a repeat of the 5-1 defeat to Brazil in June would match his heaviest defeat since he's been in charge, and he was appointed in 2018. But the second half, they haven't caved in. They've kept playing. They've kept going forward. They've had chances. They've got a great, albeit deflected from distance, a consolation. Brazil 4, South Korea 1. and there can't be long left in terms of stoppage time as the ball is chipped out by Thiago Silva towards Dani Alves.
He hasn't broken sweat, has he, Thiago Silva? Just gets the ball, gives it. His positioning is phenomenal.
I mean, those two players alone, that's a throwback to 2014. That was when Neymar was ruled out through injury. Stretch it off, I think it was in Fortaleza against Colombia. Tim Vickery will know for sure. So he's had a bit of a checkered history in the World Cup, but returning tonight, getting his first goal of this tournament. Neymar returning from an ankle injury, and there is the final whistle. And the tournament favourites, who led 4-0 at half-time. Vinicius Junior after 7 minutes, Neymar's penalty after 13, brilliant goal from Richarlison just before the half hour, and then that sweeping move finished off by Paquetá 9 minutes before half-time. Brazil could have had more goals, kept out by Kim Sung-kyu, the South Korean goalkeeper, but South Korea kept plugging away. And the long-range effort from Baek Sung-ho was certainly a fine consolation. But Brazil, they've laid down a marker because it's been so entertaining to watch. The full-time score here in Stadium 974. Brazil 4, South Korea 1. Mark.